All right, so in the previous video, I was explaining about neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. Now, this channel is all about presenting you with cutting-edge neuroscience and tips and techniques so you can take control of your life, so you can live your best life, so you can really determine the outcomes that you would like, the goals that you want to achieve, and how to get the barriers and roadblocks out of the way so you can achieve it. Now, mainstream thinking will get in the way of that, and that's why I tend to say it's garbage. And a really strong idea that I want to share with you is the idea of neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity is basically, our brain's reorganization principle, and it's our ability to adapt. This is how stars and professionals get to that level because they're constantly rewiring their brain for success. But not only that, they're constantly improving and adapting their habits so that way they can function in peak performance states. Aside from all of that, imagine this. Imagine that you've got this barrier, and this is your unconscious. Now, your unconscious is all the things that you are not consciously aware of. It's things like your values, your beliefs, your emotional reality. It's your identity, it's your neuroassociations, it's your memories, it's every system in the body. It's all those things that you are not consciously aware of. Make sense? And this little bit right here, this is your conscious mind. It's about 1% of who you are. Now, your conscious mind is very limited, right? It can only process about 7 chunks of information. Modern research says that we can only process about 3 chunks of information because of this trend of addiction to technology. So, because your conscious mind is so limited, anytime you do anything, say anything, feel anything with repetition, you create an unconscious pattern. Why? Well, because the brain is a pattern-making machine, right? It's always trying to conserve energy, so it's always taking shortcuts. That means that exactly anytime you do say or feel anything with repetition, you create an unconscious pattern. So let's take an example like learning to drive. When learning to drive, it's very conscious, isn't it? You've got the wheel and what's ahead of you. That's 1 chunk of information. You've got the mirrors and what's behind you. That's 2 chunks of information. You've got the gas, the brake. That's 3 chunks. You've got the instructor next to you telling you how to drive. That's 4. You've got your own internal dialogue and worry and your self-correcting mechanism. That's 5. And if you've got stick, this is 6. So this is why most people, even teenagers, will typically turn the radio off because it's just 1 more chunk of information that's going to make everything go. So imagine this. Imagine learning to drive, driving consciously, driving consciously, driving consciously, driving consciously, driving consciously, driving consciously. And at a certain point, you're listening to the radio and driving. You're singing along and driving. You're eating and driving, daydreaming and driving, texting and driving, right? And most people will chuckle because they know that. They've been on the highway, they've forgotten the last 20 minutes, they're getting off the exit, and they're just kind of pulling up to their house. They don't know where the last 20 minutes went. And that's how you know that you've got an unconscious pattern, because it goes automatic. So this is the idea of Hebb's law, that neurons that fire together wire together, because all those 6 chunks of information, when you do them together with repetition, they wire together to create an unconscious pattern. So what does this mean for you? Well, that means that to be deliberate in how you live your life, to do those things that you want to get better at, that you want to be, that you want to embody. And this also means that you can interrupt, and I'm going to show you this in the next video, how you can interrupt that circuit. So when you got that pattern, you can imagine it's there's a circuit in your brain. It's a collection of neurons. And when it starts up, it wants to go to completion. So before letting that pattern go all the way through and further entrench itself and become stronger, it's much like a muscle. What you begin to do is you put up a roadblock, and it forces your brain to go here or here or here or here, anywhere that's not over here. So that way you can begin to be who you want to be instead. You can unwire those things. And this goes into neural Darwinism, but I'm going to go more into that in the next video. So if you've liked what you've seen, feel free to comment below. I'd also like you to comment below anything that you found fascinating, exciting, anything that you would like me to elaborate on. And please share any ideas for future videos that I can cover, because I'm really excited about this. I really want to present this information and get this into people's heads. So if you find stuff that you would like to share with people, let me know and I can bring it forward, do some research. But I also encourage you to make videos because we need more voices. Secondly, this ties into this. Hit subscribe and the bell on channels that you like the content of. I encourage you to create videos to bring to people, and I encourage you to encourage them to subscribe to your channel and ring the bell, because YouTube is trying to get crap into the suggestions. You know, I'm subscribed to a lot of different channels, but I never see their stuff. And it wasn't until I clicked the bell that I began to see their, what they're presenting, what they're uploading again. But still, I'm still seeing a bunch of garbage. So if you're tired of seeing garbage in your feed, remember to subscribe and hit the bell on those channels that you like. And I look forward to bringing you the next video. So take care.